everyone. This is Sujee Maniyam. I'm a DevRel for Nebius. I'm here at GTC at the Nebius booth. And with me, I have Dean.
Hey, I'm Dean Sacoransky. I lead the forward deployed engineering team at Tavily, recently acquired by Nebius.
Dean, welcome to GTC and welcome to Nebius. So would you mind telling us a little bit about your background?
Yep, so my background, I can go into both professional and personal. From a personal standpoint, born and raised in Toronto, Canada. I'm a big baseball player, love to play hockey, fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and also an avid Settlers of Catan player. And particularly the Cities and Knights expansion version is my board game of choice.
Perfect. Do you get to play as much as you like these days?
Not so much with the new job, but in the past I'd play with my friends all the time, and some of my friends that I play with the most actually work at Tavily with me now.
Right on, so it's perfect, right? Work and play at the same place.
Exactly.
That's not a bad deal. So, a couple of questions just to get started. So tell me a little bit about Tavily.
So Tavily is the web search infrastructure for AI agents. Our product is an API, and we have several different endpoints which connects agents to the web. We have web search, web scraping, web crawling, site mapping, and then also research, which is like deep research. Altogether, it's a comprehensive suite of APIs to connect agents to the web for real-time data retrieval.
Nice, thank you. And I also gather the word Tavily actually does have a meaning. What is it?
So in Hebrew, Tavily means bring me, and since we're a data retrieval platform, this is where it comes from. So we're bringing the agents or developers real-time data retrieval.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you. That was great. So, a couple of questions on the search, because that's one of the things you guys focus on. How is search for agents is different, say, search for humans?
Yeah. So search for humans was a visual experience where you would go to Google, search for some information. A lot of the results are ranked based on advertisements, and humans will slowly sift through the results and click through what seems most interesting. So humans are bottlenecked by their capacity to read this information, discern what is relevant and what isn't, click the links and ultimately go deeper. With agents, we're at a completely different level of scale, where we have LLMs that can read mountains of text almost instantly.
Yeah.
They can sift through and understand what is relevant and what is irrelevant. So the main difference here is the scale that we need to play into and that we need to help support.
Interesting. So one of the questions people always think about is when agents are searching the web, how do we handle like prompt injection or malicious websites that are trying to fool the agents?
Yeah. So a common modern security risk is this idea of prompt injection, where you have certain snippets or language placed in areas secretly that will influence the behavior of an agent. So you could imagine you have a Reddit page, someone might make a comment to go e-transfer X amount of money to some email address. When you then retrieve that web data and feed it into an LLM, that LLM, if you take OpenClaw for example, might be hooked into a Stripe account or a credit card and then could send money somewhere. So there's a risk which prompt injection brings, and at Tavily we provide protection for this. We have an enhanced security layer through a partnership that we have with a Gen AI security company. Whenever we're retrieving data from the web, we're first scanning the content to ensure that there's no prompt injection present, and we're filtering out any data that might have a prompt injection.
So when the LLM receives the data, it's already been scrubbed and cleaned.
Exactly,
cool.
So we're doing this initial filtering step to ensure only safe data is retrieved.
Fantastic. And you mentioned something about the volume of searches, like humans may do like 1 or 2 searches before they find what they're looking for. An agent might pick up like 50 searches, right? And so how do you sort of handle this on the Tavily side, like the volume?
Yeah, so with this massive volume of searches, and also agents will be able to run 24/7 in the background. You don't need a human at the computer to trigger the search. So accordingly, we need to be able to support massive volume and massive scale. And that's really a work of our DevOps team and the infrastructure we've built out to handle spikes in search traffic, or just overall really high volume on our API.
Makes sense. And that's a perfect segue to the next question I was going to ask. Can you talk a little bit about your infrastructure? Like, how do you guys handle the volume, the data, and the search volume?
Yeah. So, to go into our infrastructure, there are a few core components. There's caching, there's our index, and there's our scraping infrastructure. And when you put these three together, what it enables us to do is serve highly relevant data at low latency. When it comes to caching, this enables low latency of data retrieval. So some websites on the internet are refreshed hourly, if you think sports news. Others, like an academic paper, are never changed.
Right.
We have a caching system that predicts the time to live for all these web pages so that we're able to intelligently rescrape to ensure that we can provide data that is both accurate and at low latency.
And then I know you guys just became part of Nebius. So can you talk about some of the plans that you have for future integration with the Nebius stack?
Yeah. So we see a lot of potential for synergy between Tavily's web search infrastructure and Nebius Token Factory. Token Factory is the inference platform that Nebius is providing for enterprises, and any solution that requires web search, Tavily web search, also requires LLM inference. So when you take the two together, you can build out full-fledged solutions at the application layer, combining inference with retrieval to build things like deep research, data enrichment, or AI assistance. Another really interesting use case that we're already noticing, where we have common customers between Tavily and Nebius, is for model training. So since Nebius provides the infrastructure capacity to train models, and also these research teams want to train and fine-tune models for tool calling, we provide the tool calling infrastructure. Nebius provides the actual compute infrastructure to do the training, so that's a really solid match there as well.
All right, thank you, Dean. That was great. And we will see you at the next conference.